People keep saying that the war is over, but look around. The battlefield is just moving to different places. In the Middle East, Iran is still trying to rebuild its power after that 12-day war between Israel, Iran, and the United States. And it's still running the same playbook. Pressure Israel through proxies, pressure the West through chaos, and wait for the world to blink. And now, thousands of miles away, something happened that may hit Tehran where it hurts the most. I'm talking about money, logistics, and alliances. Because in the last few days, the world woke up to a shock headline. The United States says that Venezuelan leader Nicolas Maduro was captured after a major US strike in Venezuela. So whether you love President Trump or hate him, this is not a small event, because if Washington moves from pressure to capture, something bigger is happening. So the United States is willing to use force once more, not only in the Middle East, but also in the Western Hemisphere. And if Venezuela is collapsing as a safe haven for sanctioned networks, it matters to Iran, because Tehran has used relationship in places like Venezuela to keep breathing economically when sanctions are tightening up. Fuel swaps, shuttle shippings, and cooperation that helps regimes survive when they should be completely isolated. Now add a second headline: Greenland. Denmark is openly worried about the United States' intentions and rhetoric, and Greenland is not a joke. It's the Arctic doorway, minerals, shipping lanes, and military geography that Russia and China also care about. So here's the real question for tonight. Is the United States building a global pressure ring from Venezuela to Greenland to Iran? And what does that mean for Israel right now? We'll answer all this pretty soon.
Hey, I'm Yair Pinto, and this is Underground Report, bringing you the full story of everything that's happening in Israel, but also all around us in the Middle East, because it always comes back here to the Jewish state. So let's start where our viewers feel it the most, in Iran. When Israel and Iran clashed in what many outlets now call the 12-day war, it didn't end the Iranian threat, it exposed it. It showed the region something very, very important. Iran can be hit, and it was. Iran can be surprised, and it was. And Iran's proxies don't automatically equal Iranian security. But here's the danger. When a regime feels that it is cornered, it doesn't always become cautious. Sometimes it becomes reckless. So what does Iran do next? From an Israeli perspective, Iran has only a few options. One is rebuild its deterrence by threatening Israeli directly or also through proxies. Buy time by dragging its feet with negotiations, playing the victim, and also waiting for Western weakness. 3. Create diversions, anything to shift the headlines away from Iran's internal problems and its strategic failures. And that's why what happened in Venezuela matters so much. Because if Iran loses oxygen in places that help it bypass the isolation that targets Iran, it means that it gets weaker. And weaker regimes sometimes lash out. Now, Venezuela. This week, analysis group like Chatham House are treating it as a major turning point, a United States strike, and the reported capture of Nicolas Maduro. And here's what matters the most about the situation. Officials in the United States government and material that was revealed even before this week, Maduro has been under the United States indictments and rewards frameworks for years now, meaning Washington has long described him not as a normal political rival, but as part of a criminal regime. So why does that connect to Iran? Because Iran doesn't survive only on missiles. Iran survives on networks, ways to move fuel, to move cash, and to move goods, ways to keep allies afloat, ways to build leverage against the West in multiple regions at the same time. When Venezuela becomes unstable or becomes controlled by forces aligned with Washington, Tehran loses an important type of partner, a partner that can help it operate in the shadows. And that changes the global map completely. It sends a message to every regime that America may come after you next. Before we continue, I just want to tell you about our sponsor for today. And this is a very, very cool sponsor. It's an Israeli innovation that extracts cells from red grapes. Yes, here from Israel. And these pills provide better blood flow. And blood flow means energy. And energy means everything. Better focus, more power to go about your day, especially if you're working out or if you don't sleep enough. So, my New Year's resolution is to take better care of myself, to be present for my family, and to take good care of my physical structure, my body. So, this year, try it for yourself. Go to TBNIsrael.com and get yours.
Now let's go north. Literally, let's go north to Greenland. It is not a cultural headline. It's actually a strategic headline. In recent reportings, Denmark has expressed concerns about the United States' intentions and rhetoric related to Greenland. And it's easy to see why Greenland actually matters. It sits on critical Arctic routes. It matters for many pre-warnings and also for missile defensive geographies. It matters for minerals and for supply chains that the United States does not want to depend on Russia and China for. Now, you ask me specifically about the United States forces moving from Venezuela into Greenland. I want to be careful here. I cannot confirm a specific verified report that says that the same forces redeploy directly from Venezuela to Greenland. What I can confirm is that strategic reality is happening. The United States is signaling hard power in multiple arenas at once, and Greenland is one of the arenas that's rising its priority. So, put it together. If Venezuela is the Western Hemisphere lever, the Greenland is the Arctic lever, then Iran is watching a United States posture that looks less like diplomacy and more like a global squeeze.
And what does all of this mean for Israel? Israel sits in a different reality than Washington. We don't have oceans that protect us. And while the world talks Israel, we need to prepare. Look at what the United States is doing militarily in our region right now. U.S. Air Force's Central Command describes Operation Hawkeye Strike as a large-scale exercise built around agile combat employment and high-tempo operations, the kind of posture that the United States wants to be ready with in the Middle East. And the United States Fifth Fleet and the Israeli Navy held exercises that are called Intrinsic Defender, explicitly framed around improving combined maritime operations. That's not politics, that's posture. And to our viewers, this is why Israel keeps saying the same thing. We want peace, but we will not outsource our security. So here's what to watch for next. 1. Does Iran escalate to prove it's still dangerous after the 12-day war between Israel, the US, and Iran? 2. Does Venezuela stabilize under the new power, or does it collapse completely into chaos And what does that do to Tehran's external lifeline? Does Greenland become a real confrontation point between the United States and its rivals? And what deals will be made behind closed doors? And in the middle of all of this, Israel remains the same, small country surrounded by enemies, standing as a front line for the values of the world, the free world. So guys, the best thing that we can do when we don't know what to do in a situation like this is to pray. So please, join me in praying for wisdom to our leaders, to your leaders. Let's pray for the IDF soldiers, for the US soldiers that are training together in this region against potential threats, against terror regimes. Let's pray for our enemies. I know it's hard. Let's do that. Let's keep praying for the peace of Jerusalem.
Hello, this is Mati here in Jerusalem with TBN Israel.
This is Yair Pinto from TBN Israel here in Jerusalem. TBN Israel is keeping viewers informed with Israel-focused news, culture, and what God is doing in this land.
Support TBN